Hi, I'm Jane King, and this is New to the Street in person back here at the NASDAQ market site in New York City. The show is all about public, private, and blockchain companies, how the CEOs, the founders, and the innovators bringing you lots of opportunities to consider. Here we go. BHG Financial is a leader in small business and unsecured personal loans and a creator of one of the largest community bank networks in the country. And with me is Albert Crawford, Chairman, CEO, co-founder of BHG Financial. So great to have you here.
Well, thank you for having me, Jane. Really appreciate it.
As one of the founders of BHG, tell us about yourself, the company. How did you get started? Why did you start the company?
Sure. Approximately about 23 years ago, we started the business, and we had an idea that the small business individual, the professional, didn't really have a place to get a business loan. And when I say business loan, working capital. Capital just to really run your day-to-day operations. There were line of credits, there were short-term facilities, you had to secure it with your house and other stuff. But really for the entrepreneur, there wasn't a product that said, hey, I can get $100,000, I can get it quickly and efficiently, and I can pay it back maybe over the next 7 to 10 years in equal payments. So we came up with the idea that there was a need in the marketplace for it. And we used a combination of technology to acquire a lot of the information to make it easier for the borrower. And then we used a little bit of traditional banking where we had credit officers and we reviewed your credit and try to give a little bit of a white glove concierge service. Okay. So you could come into us on, let's say, Monday, and we wanted to fund you the next day, Tuesday, which was a little bit different at the time for the banking industry. Yeah.
Do you have any stories about how you've helped specifically businesses?
We have a tremendous amount. One of our niche loans has been kind of the solopreneur entrepreneurial loan. And that means you have a W-2 job as you do today, but you have an idea. There's 21 million solopreneurs in the United States, and a lot of them have come about after COVID, during COVID. People are working from home, and people need seed capital. So we really look at your daytime job and say, are you going to stay in your daytime job while you're trying out this new business? If you are, we don't look at the business. We put no value into the business in terms of pro formas or underwriting. We look at you. And so we've had a lot of people come in. We have an individual, she was looking to start a med spa, and she was a pharmacist of all things. And upstate New York, we gave her the seed capital to start the med spa. She worked the med spa a lot at night and in different days when she wasn't having to do the pharmaceutical work, and is very profitable. We have a gal out in Idaho who has borrowed 6 different loans from us. She has VRBOs. So she actually, I think she was an engineer, wanted to start up a little DBA. She started a DBA up and has been very successful with the seed capital for each one of those houses and apartments that she bought to run a little VRBO. Those are 2 unique stories, but there's thousands of them. And we have a very big population of people that come back to us second, third, 4th times, which is exciting too.
Yeah, well, it provides a really important service to the whole kind of, especially small business economy, to help them have the capital to grow and provide jobs and all of that. So it's great to hear about BHG.
Well, thank you very much, and appreciate the time today, and thank you for having me in again.
Thank you.
Lameness issues, joint pain, and osteoarthritis can be difficult to treat and debilitating for an animal's health and well-being. Take control of lameness issues and joint pain. Introducing Spring with OsteoCushion technology. With just 1 injection, Spring with OsteoCushion technology targets the root cause of lameness issues, joint pain, and osteoarthritis, helping animals do what they do best. La Rosa Realty is a holding company for 5 agent-centric,
technology-integrated, cloud-based, multi-service real estate segments. And with me is Joe Rosa, the CEO of Rosa Holdings, and also Peter Goldstein, CEO and founder of Exchange Listing and also Emmis Capital. And let's start with you, Peter. I mean, I know you wrote a book and you've been working with companies to take them public. Start with your book and then let's talk a little bit about what you do for businesses.
Thanks, Jane. Yeah, I have a 35-year background as an entrepreneur, majority of that in the capital markets as an investment banker, advisor, investor, and founder. And I wrote a book called The Entrepreneur's IPO to really educate entrepreneurs about what's possible for small cap and micro cap companies. You know, there's a myth around Wall Street where everybody thinks you need to be a unicorn in order to do an IPO. Well, it's just not true. So the book is a practical guide. It also includes top industry experts with their tips and opportunities to educate entrepreneurs about listing their companies and accessing the capital markets.
You know, there's definitely a need for agents to be able to create multiple streams of revenue, right? I was always taught that from years ago by my father. And so we want to create that same opportunity for realtors. So a lot of realtors want to be able to build their own business within a business, have an opportunity to create a team. And so, you know, we've looked at other real estate companies out there that have created a revenue share model, but it's very complex. And when you look at, you know, and you kind of dig down deep into the dynamics of what they offer, very few agents actually make enough money to be considered to be in the black, right? After they're paying all their fees and whatever else, they're still losing money. So we wanted to create a very simple system that was very easy to understand, and that's also a big component of why ours is so different. And where agents can make money literally day one. There's no waiting to unlock your level 1 to go to level 2, level 3. There's no waiting for how many deals to have to close. Literally an agent at La Rosa can hire one agent, and on that agent that they hire, then their very first closing, they're able to actually generate some revenue sharing now from that agent's transaction. So that's what makes our model very different, and we feel in today's market, because of everything that's happening, it's essential for us to create that opportunity for agents.
And AI could play a role in this as well. How will AI work with the real estate industry?
You know, so I've been, you know, following AI now for the last several years, right? It's been around, but over the last, I would say, 18 months, it's picked up a lot of momentum and it's become kind of a sexy name out there. And so we don't want agents to get intimidated and feel like they're going to be replaced by AI, right? So we wanted to create our own system internally at La Rosa called Jamie that was going to allow for agents to work directly with AI. I feel that it's the agents that don't adapt to today's technology, those are the ones that are going to be left behind, right? So we wanted to create opportunities for agents to work smarter, not harder. We built a phenomenal system that allows the agents to be able to do that, and as well as we've now started to focus on the consumer side. So we don't want to just be a company that is really focused on being agent-centric, but as well as being consumer-centric.
Yeah, and what are your growth plans for the company?
So, you know, we are just in a place right now where being a publicly traded company, having the opportunity now to expand across the United States. Our model, again, is very different. So a lot of the traditional brokerages, I have been reaching out, hearing about La Rosa and seeing kind of the momentum that we've been able to create. And we're having opportunities now on the M&A side now across the United States. And plus, we've been very active. I would say we've been almost averaging at least 2 acquisitions per month now since we've actually gone public back in October. So we're very excited for the opportunity now ahead and really kind of become one of the leaders in the real estate space. Yeah,
and Peter, let's finish. Tell me your book again, and then also any other last pieces of advice for companies that may watch this interview and go, hey, you know, maybe I can go public.
So the book is called The Entrepreneur's IPO, and it really is geared towards entrepreneurs like Joe who want to understand what's possible in the world of listing their companies. Small cap and micro cap is our area of focus. And the reality that you can access capital as an alternative to private equity and venture capital. You know, currently there's trillions of dollars on the sidelines. We're still getting companies done, and as I mentioned earlier, the IPO market, surprisingly, is much stronger than people realize. So reading the book, it's available on Amazon. You can get some beginning of the education. Of course, anybody can reach out directly to me, and I'm happy to provide, you know, information. And specifically, I think the takeaway is, if you're committed to the journey, start early. Prepare yourself early for when the opportunity comes that you really do have the ability to attract significant investors, significant capital that's transformative in nature.
Yeah, no, good advice. I think I might read that book. So thank you so much, both of you.
Thank you.
Thanks. DevvStream is a tech-based ESG company that advances the development and the monetization of environmental assets, which does include carbon credits. And with me is the CEO, Trinh, to bring us up to date on all of this. And for those of us and others in the audience that aren't familiar with DevvStream, give us an overview of the company.
Great. No, thanks, Jane, and glad to see you again. So at DevvStream, we essentially generate streams of revenue for other companies, organizations, or even cities and states through the use of carbon credits, and again, with a focus on technology. So in other words, if a company has a technology or are doing an activity that helps reduce energy consumption or greenhouse gas emissions, we come in and provide a full turnkey service where we generate carbon credits and turn them into revenue at no cost to the company.
Got it.
How we get paid is that we get a portion of the credits we generate. So there's really no risk on their part, and it's a win-win for all parties.
Now, explain the carbon credit market. How does that work? How do you measure it? How do you do this for companies?
Yeah, so as we all know, global warming is a massive problem with the main cause coming from greenhouse gas emissions, such as carbon dioxide. To address it, the United Nations and countries throughout the globe have created emissions reduction goals and have signed agreements to meet them. Along with these goals, they created a financial mechanism called carbon credits that would reward activities that reduce carbon emissions. So when an organization or a country does something that eliminates, avoids, or sequesters carbon from the air, they would receive 1 carbon credit for every metric ton that they reduce. Then for companies or countries that have excessive emissions, they would need to buy 1 carbon credits for every ton they're above either a regulatory threshold or a voluntary goal. And these goals are by no means small. It's estimated that we will need to reduce 23 billion tons of CO2 annually by 2030, and roughly 12.5 of those tons will be driven by carbon credits. This is why the carbon credit market is already massive and continuing to grow. The market's estimated to be $1.16 trillion in 2023 and growing to $2.68 trillion by 2028. And that's on an annual basis.
And so a company can hire DevvStream to kind of handle all of that for them, so they don't have to worry about accounting that and doing their own carbon credit market.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Now, what about competition? Because we do hear more recently about carbon credits. Are there other companies doing the same? How are you different from them?
Yeah, there are other carbon credit developers out there, but the majority of them focus on nature-based projects, such as reforestation and conservation, which is still very important. DevvStream, on the other hand, is focused on technology solutions. Again, both are necessary in order for the world to address climate change. However, no one is taking the technology approach like we do, even though it's potentially going to be a much bigger market. There are studies that have been done stating that nature-based projects will only contribute up to 20% of the solutions necessary to address climate change. The rest needs to come from technology, which we are a leader in. The reason is because there are inherent advantages with technology. The first one being that it's extremely scalable. For example, we have a technology partner that can reduce energy consumption in wastewater treatment plants by up to 83%. For a small plant, this could equate to over 1 gigawatt hours of electricity savings per year. That's 1 billion watt hours. And just about every city in the world has wastewater treatment. So you can see how quickly you can scale there. Another advantage with technology is that the environmental impact is much quicker. Take, for example, a reforestation project. In order for it to make a dent, it can literally take a decade or so for the trees to grow and mature, where many of the technologies that we work with can make an impact immediately after it's implemented, which can sometimes be as short as a few weeks. And then a third advantage with technology is that the data that shows the impact that's making on the environment is much more precise and accurate. Take the wastewater technology, for example, right? We can tell you exactly how much energy savings occurred down to the kilowatt hour simply by looking at the electricity meter before and after the technology was implemented. And then from there, you can figure out the carbon impact as well, too.
Yeah, very interesting. Go ahead, finish your thought.
Yeah, no, sorry.
Okay.
And this is why we already have definitive orders for our credits for delivery from 2024 to 2027 that are valued in the tens of millions of dollars. One other advantage is the breadth of technology available. This is why DevvStream has over 140 projects in its pipeline with 9 signed contracts that potentially can generate over $450 million a year worth of carbon credits when fully deployed.
And I recently read that you will be doing a SPAC merger that will allow you to list on the NASDAQ. It would be the first carbon credit company publicly traded. Elaborate on that whole process. When do you expect the IPO to happen?
Yeah, over the past 10 months, DevvStream and Focus Impact Acquisition Corp, our NASDAQ-listed SPAC partner, we've been working diligently to enter into a definitive business combination agreement. I believe this has the potential to escalate DevvStream to a new frontier on the NASDAQ in terms of valuation, liquidity, and carbon market presence. In December of 2023, we achieved another milestone on our road to the NASDAQ listing by submitting our registration statement on Form S-4 to the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. And we received our first round of comments back from the SEC. We have since worked on our responses to these comments and are about ready to submit them back to the SEC. We believe that this puts us on track to complete our business combination and be listed on NASDAQ conservatively within the first half of this year. This transaction also assigns a value of $145 million to current DevvStream shareholders. What this means for existing shareholders is that all their shares will be rolled into the new NASDAQ company, and the share exchange conversion ratio will provide an implied share price of their current stock at $2.16 Canadian, or roughly $1.62 US.
Yeah.
So this represents a substantial premium compared to current share prices.
And a huge milestone to make it through that and be actually publicly traded. Anything else, Sonny, you'd like to share with the audience before we go?
Yeah, a few key takeaways about DevvStream. So first, we are a leader in the carbon credit market, especially on the technology side, which is expected to make up around 80% of the solutions necessary. Second, just want the listeners to remember the carbon market is already over $1 trillion annually and expected to grow and more than double in the next 4 years. Third, we have contracts for both generating carbon credits and selling them and expect to be profitable by the end of the year. And lastly, we are in the last stages of our SPAC merger to be listed on NASDAQ and expect to happen, again, within the first half of the year. We are currently public on the CBOE exchange in Canada and also the OTCQB in the US. So you do now have an opportunity to get our stock before we are uplisted on NASDAQ, at which time it will open at an implied share price that does represent a substantial premium over the current share price.
Okay, thank you so much. Please keep us posted as that IPO comes nearer, and maybe we can do the interview at the NASDAQ next time. That'd be great to have you there.
Fantastic. Thank you, Jane.
Funny.
Join the sustainable revolution with SGTM. Our groundbreaking carbon capture technology transforms emissions into nutrients, tackling waste, and fighting climate change. By storing captured carbon and offering offset credits, we're restoring land and building a greener future. Join us in the fight for a sustainable planet. Together, we can make a difference. SGTM, innovating for a sustainable tomorrow.
The Sustainable Green Team is a company that is leading the way in revolutionizing sustainability through the utilization of state-of-the-art technology. Their primary objective is to convert waste into valuable nutrients, thereby creating a positive impact on the planet. And they're also offering innovative solutions, and Sustainable Green Team actively assisting companies in achieving their climate sustainability targets as well. So with me, CEO Tony Raynor. Great to have you back here. And I guess just tell us about the recent increase you've had in executives and some of the management team.
Yeah, as you know, our company has really pivoted from mulch manufacturing into technology. And so we've really brought in some incredible talent to take on a global mission. It takes a really unique team. And so, experts between financial, governance, sustainability, yeah, we've really increased our horsepower.
So are they geographically all over the world? So that will help you. I know you've
actually, you're right. They are.
Dubai,
yeah,
so
we have some in the Middle East that really have great connections with government. And that are stationed right into that region. So we have a very diverse group, from Australia to the Middle East and America. It's really good.
So what's kind of your goal with these people? Expansion, new markets?
Yeah, really to take a team of experts and advisors to really work together with the leadership team to help steer the ship in the right direction, to be able to take the expertise that they have and the wealth of knowledge. And, something my dad taught me when I was a young man is, wisdom comes through a multitude of counsel. And so when you have a group of counsel of wise individuals that believe in your vision, you get to where you want to go, and you get there quicker, and a lot less error and mistake that can come.
Hang with the smart people,
That's
right?
it.
That's a good lesson.
That's exactly right. right.
So what can we expect to see from Sustainable Green Team in the next few months?
I would say you're going to see some serious momentum. Our company is gearing up all across the world, and we're seeing some great movement, and you're going to see some big things.
Yeah.
Very exciting.
So tell us a little bit about the company. For people that haven't seen our interviews, this is what you're doing. I gave a little intro, but explain a little.
Yeah, we have a very disruptive technology that solves global issues from different facets. I mean, we know that the world has depleting soil issues, and we have a technology that turns waste into nutrients. And we do it in a way that is it's a paradigm shift. It's from the old methods of utilizing waste that would actually create more issues with climate, gases being released. With our technology, we actually sequester carbon, and we are able to attack serious global issues from odors, disease, global famines, food security. And so we have a revolutionary technology, and it's scalable, and it's pretty simple because we're taking what the world's waste issues are that are creating a problem, and we're utilizing them to solve the problem.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank
pretty
you so
cool.
much, Tony.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
Your data is vulnerable to hackers, with email being the cause of 91% of all cyber attacks. Introducing Sekur, Swiss-hosted, data-mine-free, private and secure solutions to protect your communications. Secure Mail offers secure and private email communication. Secure Messenger offers private and secure chats. Secure VPN encrypts your internet traffic and protects your digital identity. Regain your privacy today. Visit Sekur at sekur.com.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to your Sekur Privacy and Security segment. I'm Anna Berry, and this is Alain Ghiai, the CEO of Sekur. The weekly hack tackles something pretty big. AT&T had a data leak. It hit 73 million current and former users. Luckily, I don't have my provider with AT&T, but it could happen to any of the big tech companies, couldn't it, Alain?
Yeah, and what happened is it did happen to the other two telecom operator, I think, T-Mobile, Verizon. I'm not with AT&T, but what's really horrific here, I mean, we're talking about 73 million people, and they don't know if it's on AT&T that they breach or one of their vendors. And that makes a big difference. If you're using a vendor, that means you're communicating and you're basically, your communications are not safe, obviously. And that also means that the vendor may have sold the data. You know how they all sell each other's data. One of my advisor board members sent me something yesterday that Netflix got 100 million for Facebook for ads, and then Facebook gave their data. They exchange each other's data. Whoever got which one, I forgot. But it's all over X, on the X platform, formerly Twitter. And that's what's happening every day. And unfortunately now you've got 73 million people with their social security number and their entire information in the dark web. So that's pretty bad.
Well, what's one thing an everyday person like myself and our viewers can do to prevent something like this happening to them?
Well, here's the thing. Your email account is attached to a lot of stuff today. So what we recommend is, first of all, don't give us data as much as you can. Don't go on social media. But if you have to give your email to AT&T or someone, why don't you use the secure system? Because as an individual, you get 5 disposable emails. That means you can say, bobsmith@sekur.com, and that email is a throwable email. We call it an alias. And at least that email is not tied to everything else that you do, because we use the same emails for banking, for medical, for legal. And a lot of time, these hackers can put 2 and 2 together and get to your social security, get to a database that has your info. So I recommend constantly changing your email. We offer that. And we also don't sell your emails, and we don't data mine you. So that will give you a lot of protection. Also, if you go on the internet these days, you need to protect your IP address and your identity. Our secure VPN uses Swiss IP addresses, proprietary. We don't use third-party big tech platforms. or a hosting provider. And what's critical to know is that in Switzerland, the law dictates that your IP address is your private property. So we can't even touch anything that you do unless we have written confirmation from you that it's okay to sell your data, which nobody would do in their rightful mind, obviously. So that's a way to do it. Our Secure Mail also has that secure send feature that you can send an email in full privacy to a non-secure user. So I'd recommend using really tight private email systems and communication now. So we have a package like that. I'd recommend everybody to go to sekur.com, take a look at what we have, and also go to the help. And we have video tutorials on everything. But everything that we do has the Swiss privacy laws embedded in there, the non-big tech, non-open source, everything is proprietary, and we don't data mine you, and we don't manipulate your data. Your data is yours.
Perfect. And what is the promo code for our viewers today?
Promo code privacy, and you get 15% off any solutions for the next 5 years. You have very affordable solutions from like $9 up on a monthly basis. You'll see the packages that are on sekur.com, and we welcome anybody who wants to take their privacy back.
Perfect. There you have it. It's the weekly hack. Privacy has arrived with Sekur. Thanks so much, Alain. Always great talking and learning from you.
Thanks, Anna. Thanks, everyone, for watching.